Okay, let's start. Okay, so let me start. I've started the recording as well. Okay.
Okay then. Yeah.
So see, this is what we did last time. Let me clone it. So this is something which you also need to learn, Satya, if you don't know it already, which is GitHub. Okay,
Yeah,
or
I
any
have
Git repository.
knowledge on it. Yeah, I have
Okay, awesome. So I'll just go here and I start cloning it. Okay, so I have a folder and I will just come here. So this is exactly what we were doing last time. Git
right.
clone. Okay, test automation for people in a hurry. So I actually there were some problems last time. It wasn't running properly. There were some problems, so I fixed all those problems and now I think it's running. Let's see. So I have my resources in the features. Search google.com. I'm searching for this. Then I will go here. Okay, nothing here. In the runner I have what? Okay. Okay, then I have base steps, nothing. Okay, so I think I extended base step with the on here, and this is where it complained saying no, it won't work or something.
Right. Exactly.
So it didn't work because it's not allowed to have a class or a parent class to have hooks. So Cucumber says
Mhm.
no to this. So this wasn't allowed. So that's the reason I did not then use it. So there is a different way of handling all these things. We'll come to that later. But let's
Okay.
start with what we can do. But before that, let's create a to-do list. I created something here. I started creating it already, but let's do it together. So what we can do is whatever we have done so far, right? So we have done some Cucumber things,
Right.
Cucumber runners, etc. Okay, runners, hooks, and tags, right? Tags also we tried to learn,
Correct. Yeah.
but there are a lot of things there. So I will say Cucumber. Okay, then next best thing to learn is page object model, right? That I think you already know, but let's try. There are different ways of doing that page object model thing. So
Sure. Definitely. Yeah.
let's do
Whatever
that.
is there good for me, then you can tell me.
Okay, driver management is something we tried, right? In the managers, browser manager. This is like just one of the approach how you, this is a simplest approach which you can do, but there are different ways, something called as factory pattern. So you can have something called as WebDriver factory, and then you create a lot of separate classes and instantiate based on that. But it's bit complicated, sometimes overkill. So let's not do that. Just keep it simple. You want a browser, you call the method get browser, you pass the browser name, and it gives you an instantiated version of that driver, right? Plain simple vanilla. And it's very easy to make things complex. I mean, try to understand, this is based on my years of experience in this space and in coding space as well.
Okay.
And you know it as well in QTP, right? Because you are doing QTP, it's very easy to make something complex, but it's very difficult to make it simple.
Of course.
So
Yes.
it's called as KISS, KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. As much as possible, keep the thing simple. Don't try to reuse, don't try to put in unnecessary design patterns, something which you design now and you go later and then someone else comes after 1 year, he should be able to understand what you have written, right?
Right.
That's the goal of when you code, and that's the objective. You have to keep in mind when you code that my code should be readable and less complex, less moving pieces, less things here and there, everything at one place, so that people just come see, they know what's happening. So in this class, for example, I can just see what's happening. I have a method, it returns me the driver, right? As simple as that. So let's keep it this way then.
Okay.
Then in the run test, we have, I think we discussed that, Cucumber options and all. This is how you can do your parallel execution. I'll show you that today, but let me go back to the to-do list. So page object model, driver management, parallel execution. Then I wanted to show you dependency injections also. This is a must know in the case of this list is really bad. I don't want to use this one, but dependency injection. What the hell? I'm using this .todo file. This is stupid file. Wait, that I don't want to use it. I just come here. Okay, driver management, then parallel execution. I've told you about log4j. I've told you about Lombok. I mean, because it's an open world, right? Open source world. You are using lot of separate libraries which assist you in doing your framework or making your job right or making things right. So,
Right.
for example, Lombok, Log4j, they are not essential. They're not
Mm.
that without this you cannot write, but it is good to have. This gives your framework and test cases and everything a structure, and they also comes under something called as best practices. So Lombok, Log4j are usually used for that. Let's use some other libraries. AssertJ is a good library for assertions. Okay, these are the libraries. Let me write it down quickly under libraries. Okay, what else? Then I was mentioning about dependency scan, dependency injection using Pico container, or maybe we can use Google Juice or something else. But again, simple. Let's keep it simple. Pico container. Okay. Then of course page object model, page object model, and page factory. Or
Okay.
page factory. What else? Reporting we tried already, right?
Yeah, that is
Extent reporting.
extent reporting is there, and adding screenshots after each step or whenever required are failed cases kind of thing.
Screenshot strategy, right? So screenshot strategy means when you want to take it, when to take screenshots.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, then Cucumber tags. This is something which we need to do more because we just did a little bit. Cucumber tags, Selenium basic operations, then Selenium weights. This is important topic.
Mm.
Then we see on, okay, so this is Selenium, this is Cucumber stuff, but from here we also have to understand configuration, configurations. Okay. Okay, that's all. We'll keep on adding to this list eventually. Every time we find something, we just add here and we discuss that. Okay, now let me restructure this part. We had browser manager, we have utils. What we have in utils, take screenshot. Okay, then we have run test. Let's see. Let me run this first. What's happening? Let's see. So I say Maven clean install. Okay, something failed. Scanning from projects, The goal, personal training, please help you invoke Maven from correct repository. Satya, what happened here? Okay, I see. CD test automation. Okay, now I can run it. So when you run Maven clean test, you have to make sure that you are inside a directory which has the file called as pom.xml file.
Okay.
Okay, so previously I was not there and now I am there. So test auto for people in hurry. This is the directory, and under that I have pom.xml file, and from here I can run.
So can you come again this? How did you selected that directory?
Okay, so basically the two ways. One is if you are already on your Eclipse or your Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ, then you open the terminal and then from there it shows you basically where you are right now. Okay, or you can directly go to your folder structure and open terminal. So for example, let me open the folder structure here. I'm using on a Mac system, but it will work similarly at other places. This is where I am, right? I have a folder called as personal. I am inside trainings, right? In trainings, I have a folder test auto for people in hurry. And then here I have things. So if I am on here, if I open my terminal here, this is my terminal, or for you, it will be PowerShell or command prompt. I say ls list, this is my file, then I do a cd test automation here, ls, I am here now. That means I am under, when I see ls means list. When I say ls, I say pom.xml. That means now I can run my Maven clean install.
Okay.
Okay,
Got it.
and I can do it from here also.
Hmm.
I don't have to necessarily be on my Visual Studio Code. I can do it here. So see, I've did it here, and it opened the browser like this, and it is.
Because we didn't pass any browser name, right, in the command line.
I didn't. So let me show that. I made a small test change there. Huh? So I
Oh,
said if something is not being sent, then use a default. Otherwise, I always every time have to send it, right? So if I go here, see what I did. I said take command line argument browser name
right,
as
right.
browser name, but browser name is equal to command line argument. If command line argument is null,
Hmm.
this means it's a ternary tertiary operator in Java. I forgot
Okay.
tertiary, ternary. I think tertiary. Never mind. So it's just saying it checks. It's a if condition, right? Simple if condition. If it is null, then default use Chrome, or if not null, then use the value which is passed.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so it's just an if condition. If you don't understand what I've written, just use the if condition. If this is browser name is null, then use Chrome. If not null, then use what it is sending.
Right.
Okay,
Got it.
let's try to do this with the -d browser name is equal to Firefox. Okay, let's see if it opens Firefox. I don't know. I've never tested this one.
Might be open.
Let's see. Opened. So now Firefox opened. Good. Okay, so it's working for Firefox as well as Chrome. Okay, so let's try to explore more of this. Okay, so and this is exactly what I was telling you, that you can do exactly this for your case, which you were asking earlier, that you want to pass the parameters. So in your case, what you can do is same thing. You can say string file name, because you have to want to send a Excel file name, right? File name is equal to system property file name. Okay, and then you simply say Maven clean install -d. -d means here I want to send a parameter.
Okay.
It is like hyphen means minus and d, and the parameter here is file name. It should be exactly what you have here.
Right.
Don't give space. Okay, so you don't have to give a space here in front of d, and okay, just keep it like this.
Sure.
And then you have to use equal to, and then whatever you give will come and save here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you pass the parameterize. Basically, you pass the external values to inside, and that's how you capture it and use it. Okay, fine. Now let me clean this up. Okay, Satya. So I am going to keep, and let me make it a bit cleaner. Let's just keep one step def for now, and then we divide it later. Huh? So let me just remove unnecessary things. And it's also very important, keep things clean. It's called as clean code policy. No unnecessary files, no unnecessary comments and this and that. It helps you in writing the clean code. Let me delete all that. Let me keep it up. Okay, I'll delete this. We did this last time. I think I wanted to explain something on how to divide this into different folders and all. We'll do that all later. For now, let's keep it simple. So resources, features, config, extend, remote. Okay, fine. Now let's do one thing. Let's see if it is failing again. Clean install. Let's see what is the current problem. Okay, right now it's saying compile problem, step def app1 rename. Oh, sorry. Rename. Okay, and I think I know what's the reason for failure. I have a space step file which I deleted. Okay, let's see. So the catch here is that you make small change, keep running. Because if you make 3 changes and then you run and then something fails, then you sometimes don't know what change you made because of it's failing now. So it's good practice is you make a change, run, make a change, run. and it's very fast also in that sense, so no problem and keep running it. Now it's failing again. There are test failures. Or the test failures? Test failures, there is an assertion error basically. Okay, now what assertion error I have? It tells you the line numbers. Okay, so you always, whenever there's an error, you always go and trace it from where it came. So this is called a stack trace. So
Okay.
Java gives you a stack trace. It tells you exactly what line it ran and what is the class name. So this is a package name, this is the class name, and this is the method name. And the method name, it tells you the line at which line it's coming. So it's saying it's coming at this line. You press a control click here, it takes you to that line. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry if I am covering some very basic things also. I think you already know that, but let me
No,
still
no, no.
cover it
It's
because
okay. I don't know
okay,
actually.
okay. Right, so I am here now. Assertion is something you can compare it with QTP checkpoints, right? Exist and all those things,
Yeah.
and there are different libraries available for assertions. So if you're using JUnit has a library called as assertion library. If you're using TestNG, it also comes with a TestNG assertion library. Selenium and Cucumber don't have their own assertion libraries. Okay, so you have to use an external assertion libraries. Right now, if I go to my pom.xml, I already have an assertion library. I'm already using TestNG, and TestNG comes with the assertion library as well because it's a testing framework. What kind of testing framework can be there who doesn't have a assertion library? So TestNG comes up with an assertion library of its own. It's okay to use that, but there are also quite good assertion libraries available, open source assertion libraries available, which you can use. So I will just introduce one to you called as AssertJ. So there are two such libraries called as Hemcrest. One is Hemcrest and second is AssertJ. So let's use AssertJ in this case. Okay, so error, I'm getting the error not because I'm using the wrong assertion library. I'm getting error because I have made a mistake here. This is a stupid check I'm doing. It's not good check. But let me try to do the check using assertion library. Okay, now let me assert J May1. Okay, I come here. Verify. Array, why so long? Assert J May1 3.25.2. Okay, and then I will go back, and then the pom.xml, I will just place it. So now I have placed it here. Okay, and now what I can do here under step defs, I can write something like this. I can say assertions, and you see when the moment you do that, you get a lot of assert libraries, this and that. Make sure you choose the right one. Okay, so here I'm getting MongoDB assertion, assert jcore, bson assertions, assert jcore, all those things. I need to make use of what I really want to use. So that's what I'm going to select. Assertions is what I want to select. Then you have under assertion, you have a method called as assert that. So under assert that, you need to provide what is which you want to assert, sort of expected. Okay, what is it which you want to do? So I can say I want to check that string which I'm passing from here. Right, this is what I'm passing from here. So string dot is equal to, okay, I think I've twisted the logic. So if I say string expected is something which you write in is equal to. Okay, so when I say is equal to, or I can say dot contain. So basically I'm saying it comes with lot of methods of its own. So for example, this contains and all is not there in the TestNG library. I have to actually go and write it myself like this. But AssertJ libraries and Hemcrest libraries comes up with very lot of reusable methods which you can directly use in your case. So I'll just simply say contains. In the contains, I will say let me change it like this, string here, and here I will say driver.getTitle, driver.getTitle, like this. I'll just remove this. Okay, so here I'm saying assertions assert that the driver.getTitle is equal to what I have searched.
Yeah. Is
Not
it
equal to,
written?
contains.
Okay. Is it written anything on this? I mean,
Documentation?
true or false? Yeah, assertions assert that is there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So is it returns the created assertion?
It doesn't return. It doesn't return. It
Oh.
just says it's a pass. Basically, okay, a good question, Satya. So in this case, what happens in QTP, sorry, in Selenium world and open source Java world is that there can be only two cases in the then. Then can have only two things. Either it is a pass or it's a fail, right? If it's a pass, it says I am pass. It doesn't throw an error, and then statement will say I am passed. But
Oh.
if something is not matching, in that case, this will throw an exception, automatic exception, and then Java will catch it and fail the test case. The Cucumber will catch it and fail the test case, saying something failed in this step. So it doesn't
Oh.
return anything, but it simply says it's there or it's not there. But there is something called as, I think, with fail message. Okay, so with fail message means if it is failed, then you can send a message. Failed because of mismatch
Okay.
in title. So this you can do. This will send you the some sort of, okay, this failed because of this reason.
And one thing, so if we are going to add in our report, okay, report, so how can we use this assertion?
See, you want to add something in the report, something which failed, right?
Yes,
First
like
thing is
extend or
your
other.
step automatically says that this step is a pass or this step is a fail, because your Cucumber is a step based thing. But you still want to say something, why not? You can use scenario.log. This says a lot. So if this is failed, it will say this line. If it is a pass, then it will say this line. If it is failed, it returns directly from here. It won't execute this. So this will not be printed. So
Okay.
this will be printed only if it is a pass. This will print if it is a fail.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're not satisfied with that also, still okay, then you can definitely put your if statements. You can say if driver dot get title dot contains string, then then simply it's a pass. So then you can simply say assertions dot assert, come on, what can I use here? Assert that true is true. Simply I'm saying true is true. That means I'm saying it's a pass. Or I say like this. It's just a small hack of failing a test case. So by this statement, I can fail the test case. This statement, I can pass the test case. Then write whatever you want to write here. Okay, so if this contains, then I'll say true. This will always be pass, because true is true. That means it always pass. And this is always fail. False is not true, right? So this is always fail, and that's what you want also.
Correct.
So this is how you can do if you want to write more things. My preference is always this, because your explanation is very clear in the statement, what passed, and with the messaging you can add more messages there. Okay, but it's up to you basically, what you want to do. It depends on, not up to you, depends on the situation.
Sure. And here there is only one validation. See, in some cases we need to add more validation. If we are
Exactly. So
going
that's what
to
I'm saying. If you want
more
to add more,
validations.
no. So if you want to add more validations, create different steps.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Good practices that you divide, right. Don't do too many things in the same method. Understand this way. If your method is not, you are not able to read your method in a single screen, that means it's a big method.
Correct.
Okay.
No, I am asking is in some cases, suppose if we want to fill the form, okay, that we are not going to create separate steps on that, right? So,
Right.
so entire page we need to call in single step.
No, so that
Can
also
be.
you divide. So I'm talking about design patterns here, like a simple best practices. If you have a method and you're writing a lot of lines of code here which you cannot read, and you have to scroll too much to read it, it's a bad design.
Okay.
If you have even if you have a step, for example, you have a step and you have to do a lot of things there, either divide the steps. If you cannot divide the steps for whatsoever reason, then you divide the methods, create them into separate methods.
Correct. That we can do.
Okay,
Yeah.
and put assertions directly there.
In that methods. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is all about design and following the right best practices. Okay, maybe we can see when we progress more, we can take more complex scenarios to do. Right now
Okay.
these are just search and simple checks, but maybe we can try to do that in the more maybe we pick some more complex situations or scenarios, and let's see what we can do there.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so this is how you can do. Let me close this. Let's see if my test. Okay, I don't need all that, so I'll comment it out for you to be able to gain some insights later. So I'll just read this. I don't need this. Let's see what happens now. What the hell I'm doing? Maven clean install. Okay, so executed again. This time again failed. Why? I expect to see computer in search, but there is a Google. Okay, got it. So my assertion passed, but I am saying computer here, but expected is Google. Okay.
Title, right? We are checking.
Yeah, no, we are checking the right thing, but I think this is wrong. It's not clicking on the click because this is the property is wrong. Wrongly I'm using. So I'll search it. Button K. I'll be saying Q there. So I need to say button K.
Okay.
Okay. So now search it again, do it again. And right now you see I'm getting a lot of open browsers. I need to write a step to close all of them. Do you know what do I need to do?
Driver dot close.
But where?
Hooks, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So I need to do that in the hooks. It failed again. Chrome on Mac session ID. Element not interactable. Oh, okay. Sometimes what happens when you have this, right, and it opens the whole thing, then
Yes.
the button which is behind is hidden.
Correct.
And then it will not be able to do it. Okay, so what we can do is there are different approaches to that, but I don't want to get into it now because if we do that, then we'll skip on other topics.
Okay.
Okay, but let's do that. Do some other thing and I'll come back to it. Okay, but first see what is wrong with my hook here. I think I had a hook to close it. Oh, I don't have it. So let's do one thing. Let's do a close here after, and there I'll say tear down cucumber, and then scenario I don't need here. I'll remove it. I'll say driver.quit. Okay, so now it should close my drivers. Let my test fail for now, Satya. Okay, I'll fix it in a while, but let's just run it if it's closing it also.
Did it close all the browsers, right?
No, so that's
Only
what I want to explain. It only closes what it opens.
Okay.
Okay, so it opened this
Only
one, it closed that one.
Selenium opens, right?
Yes, which no, not the Selenium, which the current instance of the Selenium opens.
Right. That's
See,
right.
all this was also opened by Selenium, but it did not close all that. It only closed what it opened in that specific execution.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so that way it isolates the execution as well as browser. So now let me tell you the parallel execution part. I come here, I copy this. Let me create multiple sessions here. Okay, let's see, these are all my different scenarios and I want to run all of them parallel, but let's change something. Computer, here I want to search for selenium, maybe search for selenium and expect the selenium. Then maybe Jenkins, search for Jenkins, expect the Jenkins. Satya, search for Satya, expect the Satya. Search for TCS. Sorry, what?
Akash.
Akash. Okay, search for Akash. And okay, now there are two ways. One thing is, if I go here and say parallel is false. Okay, if I do that and then I go again and say run, I say Maven clean install. Okay, it will start running the test cases one by one. Okay, now the second test case. So now it is running in sequence. Third test case.
Right, one by one.
One by one, Jenkins. Okay. If I want to run this in parallel, then what I'll do is, let me close it, otherwise it will, okay, let it happen. Satya, the movie, okay. Okay, now how much time it took us, right? At least 30 seconds, correct?
Right.
Okay, now let's run all of that in parallel. Let me close existing open browsers. Okay, if I come here and now I will go to my run test and I just simply say true. By the way, you can also send it from command line. Huh?
Okay.
But I'm just saying true here. Not this, but you have to configure something in the POM, then you can pass it from there, but it's okay. Right now, if I simply say Maven clean install and I have marked parallel is equal to true, so what will happen is all the 6 test cases will start running in parallel.
Oh, right. Nice.
Okay, and there is no connection between them, so it's not going to affect the other browser. It's only going to deal with what that specific browser, because it has created multiple threads. Threads are nothing but separate processes, sub processes within a bigger process of JVM. Okay, and within it executed all the test cases, or separate test cases.
Okay.
So doesn't matter how many scenarios you have. By default, it run 10 test cases in parallel. But if you want to say no, I want to run only 5 test cases in parallel, or you want to say I want to run 20 test cases in parallel, you can run that. You can configure saying run more. I forgot the name of the variable called as data provider concurrent test, something like that. And you say I want to run 20, then 20 test cases will run in parallel on the same machine.
Okay. Simultaneously.
Parallelly, yes.
Okay.
So see, parallel execution is so easy and super and efficient. Huh? Okay, now I go here. So this is how you do parallel execution. It's very simple. Understood, right?
One more thing here,
Yeah.
one question. If here one browser is there, okay, one application. Okay, if as I said, we are dealing multiple web applications, right?
Yeah.
So if we are going to start 2 or 3 test cases, okay, each test case opening their applications, okay, in different browsers.
Right.
That case, is it going to handle?
So there are 2 approaches. Okay. The way you design a test case, it's called will come under scenario designing. Okay. Right now, if you see my two scenarios are not connected. They are independent.
Correct.
So when I run here, it creates a browser, navigates, do something, and then closes it. And that's the reason I'm able to achieve the parallel execution here, because these are not connected. And it is also a good practice. That is, your test cases make sure that your scenarios are not connected, not dependent on each other. Okay. But let's say you have a situation where you have a scenario, but that scenario has to go to multiple applications, which is okay, right? So you can say the moment you say I have a browser open, you get a driver instance, right? And then you can reuse the same driver instance to go to different flows. So you can say navigate to search computer, do something, then you will say when I navigate to URL application 2, then you can do that way. Okay, so you have one browser instance and you are navigating it, doing something, then you're navigating to other application URL, doing something, and then eventually closing your test case. Okay, but the passing of the driver from here to here is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, it is possible, but mostly you have to do something extra there to make it possible.
Okay.
And it's not very good practice to do it, but still it is you can do anything basically in Java, so it's possible there in that sense.
Okay, let me explain in deep in that my question. Okay. See, in the first scenario given is that I have a web browser open and when navigate to URL of application 1.
Fine.
Okay. And it is doing something on it. Okay, in application 1. And in the next step, when I navigate to URL of application 2.
Okay. Do something in app 1. Fine. Open. When I do something, when I navigate to app 2.
Yeah, app 2. And again, I want to go back to app 1 doing something.
Then I navigate to app 1. Fine.
And verify whatever for verification or something.
Yeah, then verify something.
Yeah. And this is the case. And in the same, I'm talking about the parallel. Okay. And in the scenario, the same time, the same scenario, in the second scenario also, we are doing same thing. Same application one, same application, not different application. Okay. The same application one open and do something. And again, navigate to application 2 and do something with other data.
Fine.
Okay. And come back to application 1 and doing same thing. So in that case, suppose there is two scenarios. Okay. So here in first scenario, it opened already two web applications, two browser.
No. It had only one browser, Satya. See, step defs, if you see my step definition, when a scenario runs, I am creating a web driver, right?
Right.
So one web driver for one scenario, and I'm just reusing the same web driver to navigate to different URLs.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah,
if you want to,
scenario 2? What
if you want to, yeah, it will run separately in a separate browser.
Okay, in separate browsers. Navigating to different URL means it is opening the new tab, right?
No, it's up to you. It's up to you. No, it's up to you. So what I'm saying is this scenario, imagine this scenario is running so separately that it has no connection with this scenario.
Right.
You want to do whatever here in the sense you want to create a new browser, close the browser, then open it again for the application 2, or open it in a new tab, switch there, do something, come to the first tab. All that is possible within a scenario.
Right. Within the scenario, that is in one browser. And in the second scenario, I'm talking about the parallel, not the...
So parallel will, no. So this scenario, so this scenario will be executed in parallel with this scenario. What's the problem? So this is one scenario, this is a second scenario. They will run in parallel.
Okay. So no mesh in that case, right?
Yeah, no connection. Completely separate entity.
Okay. Separate threads will be maintained.
Separate thread, yeah. Imagine separate execution altogether.
Okay.
In a separate thread.
Got it.
Okay. However, let me put this point also. There are ways people can mess this up as well, because essentially it is Java, right? And if you do not follow certain principles in Java, you can do some stupid things where they somehow, without you wanting it, gets connected. For example, if you're using a variable WebDriver as static, let's say you say in my step definition, my WebDriver is static WebDriver. Okay. Then you have messed things up. Just adding this keyword, your parallel execution will start failing, because static means only one WebDriver shared across multiple threads. Okay, so that's the reason you should never use this keyword called as static unless you really know why you are using it.
Okay.
Okay, so whole thing will stop working the moment I say WebDriver is as static variable.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, and a lot of problems will start coming. So I'm not saying static, I'm saying WebDriver. That means for each scenario, I have one browser allocated just for that scenario, and I can do whatever with that driver. I can close it, I can start it, I can launch it, I can navigate to different URLs, do something, then close it again, then create it again. Everything I can do, but within the same scenario.
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I'm saying there are many different patterns available. There are people who run a feature in sequence. So they just create one driver, and then same driver is reused here. It's being used here. It's being used here. There are different ways of doing things.
Okay.
But a very good practice is that you keep your scenarios isolated. Each scenario is not connected with other scenario. One driver here and second driver here, they are not
Okay. Okay.
shared.
Yeah. Yeah. That is okay. That, I mean, there is no test cases interdependent.
Yes,
Within the test case dependence.
yes,
That is obvious. I mean,
that's obvious. Yeah, that's a sequence of steps you need to follow to
okay.
complete, huh? That's obvious, but here you have to make sure of that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, I got a small hint here by GitHub Copilot to tell you about background. Okay, you see, I am repeating a lot of steps, same
Right.
steps again and again, again and again. So in that sense, when you are repeating, it makes sense to use something called as background. So then you can define those steps at the top, which is common, and then remove it from here. So I remove it from here, 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 I remove it from here. Okay, so my whole thing got reduced.
Yeah.
What will
Lines
yeah.
of steps got
Yes,
reduced.
yes. So every time a scenario will be executed, these two lines will be executed first.
Okay. Even in parallel as well.
Even parallel. Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
I have not done test automation from over a year. So let's see if I still remember. Clean install. Please run, please run, please run, please run, please run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
started running.
Yeah.
Okay, so that all works as well.
But we can't see everything at a time, right? I mean, are you going to one browser, each browser, or
No, it is opening it. So you see, it is opening it, but on top of each other. No, I show you. I run it again. Okay, so when I run it, let me come here. Close this. All opened.
right?
Let me quickly move here and there. You see.
One
Uh,
by one open and one by one searching. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Not one by one. I mean, all things is happening parallel. It just
Right.
you're not able to see it.
Right. Right. Okay.
You see, you can see it all, but they are overlapping each other. No, overlapping windows.
Right.
That's why. Okay, cool. Okay. Let's see. The reports are generated. Let's see. Extend reports, HTML. I go here, open in default browser. Okay, it's opened here. Let me.
You have two monitors.
I have three.
God. Even at home as well.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
I have home office, so sometimes we have to work from office. Sorry, home. Yeah. Okay, so these are the reports you see one after another. You see the scenarios and you click here. So this is just like one of the report, but there are different kind of report also. I mean, they're
Wow.
almost the same, but bit different. Same, but different, but still the same. So I come here, click here, and it shows me the screenshots as well with the scroll down. Okay, so yeah, so this is about that. So what we did, background, we tried to learn screenshots, parallel execution, closing. Okay, let's do something on the configurations, Satya. Okay, now configurations are the place from where you keep the reusable things. Oh, sorry, configurable things. What can be the configurable settings? Maybe the browser where you want to run, URLs. So you can say my sit.url is this,
Mm.
my dev.url is this, my production, not production, let's say uat.url is this. And then you can choose this at runtime, you can pass it at runtime, or you can just keep it here and run the same pack for multiple URLs, multiple environments. Then you can also keep something like usernames here, username and passwords perhaps. Okay, what else it can be
And
used
also
for?
we can give the paths as well, Excel file paths, data
Yes,
table
yes,
paths.
paths, whatever. I mean, whatever you want to give.
Okay.
Okay, the concept of a properties file is that you don't keep data which can be changed. So you don't hard code the data which you want to configure. If I, let's say, always put google.com in my code, then I cannot change it. Right? It's hard coded here.
Right.
Right? So the good practice is that you keep the external data, sorry, the data which is supposed to be changed directly outside, not inside. Okay, you
Okay.
keep it under here so that you can configure it. Same way, if you see the extend report which we last time implemented, that's what they have also done, right? They have kept a properties file, and from there you can change the outcome of the behavior of the extend report tool.
Good.
Right? Same way, we are doing our own file. We are saying config.properties and we keep things outside. Okay, but we have to read it at runtime to know what it is. So I think let's do that. So
Okay.
I think I can go to core utils. What do I have in utils? Okay, so I will have a method created here. I'll say public. 1 minute, Satya.
Sure.
What the hell? Satya, just give me a minute, huh? Something.
Yeah, sure. You can take your time.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry for the interruption. So yeah, we were talking about the configuration. So I'll write a method, public. Let's call that static, which is okay. So putting a method as static is still okay, but keeping a variable as static, you should think twice on why you're using it. Sometimes you can mark a variable as static if it is not being changed. It's just, let's say, read only value, an environment value, for example. Then maybe yes, you can put it at static. But keeping variables like driver, instance objects like driver as a static creates problems. So because there are other ways of handling those situations, so better not to use the keyword as static there. But for the method, still okay. So I'll say void read properties. Okay, pre-generate the code. It's not generating. Anyway, so I'll say properties, then wow, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Which one you are using? Yeah. You said
It's
some plugins.
GitHub Copilot. GitHub
Ah.
Copilot. It's GitHub Copilot. This one. AI pair programmer.
Oh.
Okay, it generates the code and also I think all developers now have started using these things anyway. And if you're not using, you are losing.
Correct.
because then you are, it gives you a lot of hints, no, what to do, and then you learn fast. Let's say you want to do that, you will go to internet, then find out how you do that, blah
Right.
blah, right? And then copy it here, paste. Anyway, you are copying and pasting. Why to waste time?
Correct.
Right?
Of course.
Yeah. Because understand this, these days, any coder, right, whoever codes is not really coding new thing. They are really assembling. all these are libraries, reusable libraries, open source tools and technology frameworks, opinions, opinionated frameworks. We just use them, right, in a specific combination, and then we write. So that code which you're writing is not really your code, it's just assembly of code which you are doing. And essentially you still have to go to the documentation, copy it, copy the use case, copy the snippet they have, put it here, make it work. So then you can directly do it from Copilot. Copilot directly automatically pulls it from there and puts it here, right? So why not use it? There's
You're
no
paying
shame in
something, right?
using it. Yeah,
You're
I'm paying like $10 per
oh.
month, which is like 500, 600 maybe. Netflix also is the same price, huh? By the way. So if you can afford Netflix, you can afford Copilot.
Correct.
Okay, so I go here. Okay, I need to define input stream, I think. Input stream. Come on. Input stream. Input stream. And then I need to read it from here. Okay, so just to tell you something. So if you are defined your file somewhere here in the resources, right? This is where my file is. To read it, that file, I need to write a syntax of this sort. Huh? So I need to say, I need to, why it's giving error, wait. Huh? Okay, cannot use in static context. I cannot do static context. Oh, okay. So I say this dot get class, okay, that get class loader, and that get resource as stream, and then the name of the file, like this.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the way to refer or get this file information directly in your code. And I also don't want to hard code this, so I'll say string file name. File name I'll pass from here. Okay, now IO exception IO. I'm using log4j, so I also would like to print a log statement. I say log.debug file name. File name not found. Okay, I have is here. Huh? Okay, in the file input stream, I need to remove this and pass load. Okay, I don't need the whole thing. Sorry, I just put remove here. What the hell I'm doing? Okay, is. Okay, so I have input stream. Let me give it a good name. Input stream. Input stream. Input stream. Browser name is URL. I don't need this. I just want to load it and I want to return it.
Okay, all details will return.
Yes, I want to return the properties and return the properties. So see, it still generated the code, but still I have to customize a lot of things there. Huh?
Right.
But still it's faster.
Properties, there's a you removed void and properties you added, right? So can you explain me?
Sorry, which one?
Properties, public properties you added.
Yeah, I say public properties means I want to return an object of type properties. Previously, it was void. Huh?
Right.
Void. That means I'm not returning anything. But I do want to return an object. What I want to return an object which is this one. What is its type? The type of the object which I want to return is property. So I need to mention it here. Okay, so that's why I wrote like this.
Okay, so that means if a class has instantiated and if you are going to return that class, I mean that object class,
I need to mention
you need to add that class name.
Yes. You see, like here in this method also, take screenshot, right? I want to return a screenshot. What is the type of screenshot? Byte array. So I have to mention byte array here also.
Okay.
If I say void, it will complain. Quick fix, change method return type to byte. So byte.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have read properties and I
Is
go
there
back.
any name in the Java to do this kind of thing?
Name.
I mean, like name means topic name in the if we write like this way, return this one like inner class or something. Is there not cloning? I don't know exactly.
Okay, you don't know what to ask as well. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. What he's saying is where you can read about it, huh?
No, no, it's
So
okay.
okay, so what I'm saying is, see, let's talk about method signature. Let's some lesson on Java. I have a method. I need to
Okay.
mention the scope of the method. If I say public, that means it's accessible from everywhere.
Every-
I say void, don't want to return anything. Then I say method name, name of the method. Then I
Right,
say string well, that means variable name as well. I am expecting a variable. This you know, right? You know how
right,
method
right.
works.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
that's
I
right.
am here, right? When it
Right.
comes to returning, I say return, I say integer. Come on, I say int I is equal to 0. And I say return I.
Hmm.
So the point is, in this method, this is called as method signature, right? Method
Right,
scope, where it can be accessed, what method is returning. If method is not returning anything, I have to write void.
right, right.
If I say this is the method name and this is the argument which the method is taking. Now I'm saying I want to return a variable. If I want to return a variable, I need to mention what is the type of the variable I am returning. What is the right type of the variable which I am returning?
Integer,
Int.
integer.
So I have to mention int here.
Okay, okay,
Okay, so basically that's the logic.
okay, okay. Got it.
Okay, I mean, the more you write, I think Satya, you will get understanding of this. These are
Yeah,
like you have to practice here.
yeah,
I think in VB script, that's what you're used to, right? In VB script, we don't mention return type; it just returns, huh?
yeah.
But
Anything
here,
you can.
yeah, but here you have to mention it. It's typed
Okay.
compile time things. Okay, so I come here again. Okay, now the URL and all those things, correct? So I will go in the before. I will call that method here. Okay, I say utils. I create the utils object. I say utils dot read properties. Here I will mention the config dot properties. Okay, and this I can also take from command line.
Hmm.
Okay, and this is returning what? So I will come here. I'll say properties as properties, and I will take the value here like
Okay.
this. And now I have everything. So now instead of saying URL like this, I'll remove it. And where do we need the URL? Okay, here, huh? So what how will I access it here? I will say string URL property get property, and which URL I want. I want, let's say, sit.url. Okay, and I can get that value from here. I come here, sit.url, something like that. Okay, there are a lot of catch here. Okay, how if I want to based on the environment I want to select, right? That we see later, huh?
Sure.
It just we're talking about how we fetch value directly from here. So to make things simpler for now, I place something called as environment sit, and then for now I'm simply saying URL. Okay, we'll talk about how you want to do that different, how dynamically you can configure read the value from here. That part
Okay.
we see later. Right now we're simply saying URL. So now we
Okay.
once we say
Can we
that,
do can we do one thing as well in that properties? I mean,
yeah.
if suppose SIT is different URL and
Mm-hmm.
username and password is different different, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, in production is production and UAT, everything is different. URLs, different usernames and passwords.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
does I mean, if we are going to pass environment,
Mm-hmm.
okay, through command line or somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
so is it coming and read the separate? I
Yes,
mean,
it has that prop feature basically. It has
uh,
that where you read that way, and based on if you say SIT, it will pick the SIT URL. If you say UAT, then it will pick the UAT URL. Yes, it can do
Okay.
that.
Because we are not mentioning any if else conditions in the properties file.
Correct, correct. So this is there is a concept here how to do that. Let me
Okay, okay.
search
No,
that.
I'm asking is I'm actually in my mind I'm preparing myself to write my project.
I know, I know. So I mean that's important. That's a very valid use case.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
see, I told you, na, I mean, I'm going to pass different paths and
I,
environments as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So in that time, it will be useful for me.
Yes, yes. See, there is a better way of doing this. It's called as config.yml. That is much better than properties. Let me
Um,
tell you that. So here you say something like this, environment, okay,
okay.
and you say URL
Hmm.
for this is that, username for this is that, password is that, whatever. Okay, you can say like this, environment SIT,
Hmm.
and for that URL is this, password is this. Then you
Exactly.
say for UAT, it's this, for prod, it's this, like that. So when you want to read this, you will say environment.sit.url. It will give you
Right,
this value. So there
right,
are
right.
different
That's what I mean.
approaches basically. All I'm saying is in approaches. For the simplest simple case, you can use config.properties. Because to
Oh,
read a YAML and parse the YAML, you have to use another library called a snake YAML. That's a
mhm.
different library. But again, because since you are at the basic level at
Everything.
the moment, just use config.
Okay, okay, sure, sure.
And here there are some ways. So it goes like this, where you do this. You say dollar and you say environment like this. So what happens the moment you say SIT in the environment, then the right URL will be picked up.
Okay, okay.
Okay, but that is it would require something to be done here that I think I only have 5 more minutes at the to go after that. So
Okay.
that part we'll do maybe tomorrow.
Next
Okay.
section. Okay, okay, sure.
Okay, we do tomorrow then. Okay, let me comment this out now. Let's keep it simple. Okay, what else I can tell in 5 minutes? So what did we cover today, Satya? Let's try to understand. Okay, we didn't do page object model. Can we do page object model quickly?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do that. So I go here right now. If you see the URL, let me make sure that this runs for now. URL,
Oh,
let me say like this for now.
actually, my expectation is, Akash, actually, whatever we are going to discuss here and learning things now, I'm
Hmm.
straightforward going to implement in my project.
Which is
Okay.
good, yes, yeah.
Yeah, because there is, I mean, in the future, I mean, we never look back. Okay.
Mm,
So already
correct,
we started our project, right? So there is no time as well for me.
correct, correct.
So
Yeah, that's a
directly,
good
yeah.
strategy. Yeah.
So in that case, we will cover other things as well, and but at the final step, whatever expectation, then we you can implement that in the project.
Yes,
Same thing I will implement in my thing.
yes. Yeah, they all are like basic stuff. I mean, building blocks of what you want to create, huh? Okay, so I go here. Right now I'm doing everything here. Okay, so my step definition is also present, is also have the page objects details, which is not good. We need to keep segregating our stuff. The code has to be well structured, well organized, divided across classes in a logical structuring. Okay, right now I have everything placed in the same step def files, right? Good idea is that I separate it. In Selenium world, there is a pattern called as page object model pattern. What it has, how it works is you have one page in Selenium, and then you need to create a one-to-one mapping of page with a Java class, and that Java class you keep the objects as well as their methods. That is what page object model, traditional page object model implementation is. Let me show
Oh,
you that. And there are different versions and variants to it, but the idea is that step definition file should not contain your locators.
hmm.
Okay, these are
Yeah.
called locators. So if
Right.
I go here, create a new file, I'll say landing page dot java. Here I will move these things from there. So I will say buy is the name of the object in Selenium, not login link. Come on.
URL.
Search. search box by dot name, by search button is this. Let
So no
me,
need to copy paste from here, from there to here. Is this because of Copilot?
yeah.
Okay.
Copilot is amazing, man. It saves me from writing a lot of code. I mean, it's not good if you don't know what you're writing, but it's good if you know already and you just want to fast pace it.
Correct, correct.
Okay, and then I need a constructor. Okay, a constructor of a class in Java is a special type of method which doesn't have a return type. Okay, so it doesn't have any void. It's a method, but it doesn't have any return thing, and has to have the same name as the class name. And then here I will say WebDriver. So the page object model has basically three parts. One is at the top, you have to define the WebDriver. After that, you have to define your locators. After that, you have to have a constructor where you are taking the WebDriver object. Okay, so this is a parameterized constructor. You're taking some value while it instantiates, saving the driver instance to here, and then your operations method happens, right? So you say public void enter text. Okay, so now you can say search box send keys, and then you can say string text, and then you also can say void click button, like this. Okay, so search box not send keys dot click search button. Satya, give me a minute. Huh?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, so now I have this, and so okay, the typical structure of a page object model file is you have to have a web driver, then you define the locators, then the constructor, and then you have to define the methods which will perform the operations on it. Okay, and then I go back, and now there are as I said, different variants to it. There is one variant called as page factory, which also has a similar structure. It just instantiation is a bit different. Then people also do what you were also in the very beginning were mentioning, that I want to divide this. I want to keep it separate and then keep it separate. People do that also.
Yeah. That
okay,
is called, is that page factory?
No, that's not page factory. So page object model, this is page object model now. Page object model, actually the real implementation is this. If you want to do whatever, you can do whatever. I mean, it's okay. You can keep it here and you want to keep it separate, fine. People do that. That also is a page object model, but just different variant of it.
Right. Okay.
But if you Google what is page object model, they say this. They don't say that you keep it one place and then you keep it at a separate place. This is not under the definition of page object model.
Okay.
That traditionally,
my manager asked me to separate these things.
As I said, you can do whatever you want to do basically in Java, right?
Right.
But you have to. So good thing is that you see what people are doing. You search what existing frameworks are there, right? You see how they are doing it. If they are not doing it and you want to do it, that means you are doing something called as anti-pattern.
Correct.
Right. So I think it's good practice that you follow what others are doing, because what others are doing is acceptable way of doing it.
Right.
Okay, and you may, if you don't follow that and if you try to do something of your own, then few things can happen later which you cannot predict now. Okay, so that's why I say it comes under best practices. That's what I'm saying. You can do it, but it comes under best practice that you do it this way. Within a class about that page, you mention all the information about that page in the same class. So whenever someone wants to know what's happening in that specific class, he just have to come to one class, one page, one class, and you don't have to roam around one class and one here and there. Just everything is there. Because the moment, I think why he's asking you to do it is because he still have this traditional understanding of how QTP stores it. So QTP stores it in a separate file called as page object repository, right? No, object repository.
Right. QTP
right?
in object version.
Correct, correct. But here the concept is different. It's not exact only the object repository. It is an object repository with associated methods also. That is
Mm.
page object model. But if you start keeping it separate again, I don't know what we call that.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
but doable. If you want to do that way, it's okay. It
Okay.
doesn't make too much difference in a small projects. Basically, bigger projects may be problem, but small projects you can do these things. Okay, and never mind. Let me quickly just come here. Instead of doing this now, I will now say driver dot not driver, sorry, I need to instantiate it basically first. I'll say landing page, and driver, and then here I say landing page, enter text, landing
Mm.
page, click button. So it's just much more cleaner. It's really keyword driven sort of approach. Rather than saying the whole statement, I remove this.
Right.
I just have to say it's very readable also, right?
Correct. Correct. Agree.
Yeah, and next approach is using page factory, which is still the same, but I think let's do it next time. But yeah, I think I have
Sure.
to
Sure.
leave. I
Okay.
have to go.
Yeah.
Okay, I still have like 3 minutes. We can talk. Let's go to README. So we have done all these things, right? Cucumber, extend reporting, page model, driver management, parallel execution, few assert libraries, configurations. We need to do more. Fine.
Yeah.
Dependency injection I want to show. This is a very important concept. Basically, this
Okay.
is why what you were asking last time, that if you have multiple step definition files and
Mm.
your steps are scattered across different step definition files, then how you will handle it,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
Because
So
then you
that
have to
is
pass
important.
something called as pass the state. Right now it's not possible. Right now you will have a lot of problem if you do it now. You
Okay.
cannot divide these steps.
Okay.
So you need something called as dependency injection. That's, I think, I will cover next, maybe tomorrow or maybe next week.
Sure. Sure. Definitely. I'll do one
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
I will implement this one properties thing and
Hmm.
passing that. I mean to change the path,
Yeah.
passing the Excel path runtime.
Yeah.
I'll update my code and will share with you. Okay,
Sure. 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 No worries.
and just review and update me on it.
Okay. Sure. I will just publish these changes quickly. Git add dot git commit. What did we learn? Config,
Space frequent after.
parallel, parallel execution. What did we do?
So
Assert J. What else? Page object model, huh?
yeah, page object.
Page object model. Yeah, screenshots. No, we didn't do that. Okay, cool. It's okay. Git push origin main. Okay, I pushed the code also, huh? So you should see it. Where
And the
is
same.
it? Yeah, same repository.
Oh,
Okay, good,
yeah.
cool. Okay, Satya, we see you tomorrow then.